Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dolynny TV. I'm Tyson Dolynny here to take you through basically trying to explain why that Taylor Hall trade is so tempting for so many Oilers fans, right? Obviously, we know there's the rumors out there. Taylor Hall has the Edmonton Oilers on the top of his list. Taylor Hall wants to come back to Edmonton. The whole deal, it makes sense. Why not? Let's get it done kind of deal, right? That's kind of what we've been navigating through here for, well, since the beginning of the season. Now, the thing with Taylor Hall is he is an UFA at the end of this season. He's coming off of his signed Oilers contract, right? This is still a contract the Oilers signed him to that he's playing on in New Jersey. He's turned into an MVP of the league in New Jersey, and crazy stuff has happened in New Jersey since the Adam Larson trade. Clearly stated, right? And what I'm going to try to get at this video is you're probably wondering, why does this sound like he's flip-flopping on his stance? Why? No, this isn't me flip-flopping on my stance. What I'm trying to do here is just play to the crowd that thinks basically how would I put this? Play to the crowd that thinks I'm too dismissive, right? Like, I know I'm very dismissive of any Taylor Hall trade for the Edmonton Oilers. What I'm going to try and do is separate myself from that for a moment and look at it from the other side of the aisle and say, why does this make sense? Why do people believe this is an option for the Edmonton Oilers? And that's literally it. I'm not saying yes, trade for Hall. This is not this. That may not be what you're waiting for, right? No. However, well, let's get right into it, shall we? Let's just kind of start discussing Taylor Hall from a different point of view. That's what I want to do. That's maybe the words I'm looking for, is taking a look at Taylor Hall from a different point of view than I have in the past two videos breaking down speculation of Hall coming back to Edmonton. So let's, once again, obviously my default is always the hockey reference stats for Taylor Hall. And number one for Taylor Hall, when it comes to coming back to Edmonton, is that what could have been, what could be kind of mantra for the Oilers and Taylor Hall, right? Obviously, guys, it didn't go the way we wanted it to when we had Taylor Hall here. We had several things not go to plan, obviously, right? You think about that 15-16 season when Taylor Hall had a 65-point campaign in Edmonton, his third highest career total of points at all. And that was in a season in which Connor McDavid only played about half the year and was somehow still in the Rookie of the Year conversation. Let's not consider or kid ourselves there. So that's number one, right? That's number one, is Taylor Hall had his third best and his second best career years in Edmonton. And then you've got, of course, the year that he was the MVP, which is the 93-point season in New Jersey. Well, okay, so that right there, right? What could have been, we've seen, second and third best years. What could be is the fact that he is an MVP, and that brings me to my next point on Taylor Hall, is that the what could be is you're getting him. Honestly, the way that the New Jersey Devils have been going this year, the way things are going, the way things are playing out for them, you look at the wildcard standings in the Eastern Conference, and I mean, guys, this is just ugly. They are somehow, Detroit has played 23 games, New Jersey has played 20, Detroit has 17 points, and New Jersey has 18. So yes, they're leaps and bounds right now technically above Detroit at this point of the season, but they're tied in there with the New York Rangers, who, guys, the expectations have fallen short. The Ottawa Senators, who have a point more than New Jersey or New York, and that's a rough place to be, considering Ottawa was written off at the start of the year as the worst team in the NHL, probably in contention with Detroit. Then you've got Columbus, who's only 2 points better. Columbus maybe a little bit of a failure, but we also know how much Columbus sold away to get guys like Duchesne, like Dzingel, right? And lost Bobrovsky, lost right, Panarin. It's tough. So that's the thing, is, you know what, the stats are not going the way for the New Jersey Devils this year, which means similar to what Peter Chiarelli did with Taylor Hall, who to a degree can be considered damaged goods when he left Edmonton is yet further damaged goods leaving New Jersey, right? Seriously, he never played a full year in New Jersey. 16, 17, 72 games, 17, 18, 76 games, 33 games in 18, 19, and then 20 games so far this year in New Jersey. He's played every single game. That's good for him, and he's had 17 points. However, there you go. Let's ring the alarm bells. He's got 2 goals and 15 assists. That's a problem for a guy like Taylor Hall. So, there you go. That wraps it up. What could have been, what could be, is the fact there's the damaged good aspect, there's the locker room aspect that a lot of us point to when we say absolutely no way, Jose, do we bring back Taylor Hall, and there's all that. So realistically, when you come down to making a trade for a guy like Taylor Hall, I think it's pretty dang clear, ladies and gentlemen, that you have a simple factor in him that, well, look at this one. Look at it this way. Is that for Taylor Hall, you're probably getting him on dimes on the dollar, which is what, to a degree, when he turns into an MVP a few years later in New Jersey, what we did with the Adam Larson for Taylor Hall trade. Now, guys, I'm not going to kid myself. I'm not thinking we're trading Adam Larson back the other way for Taylor Hall in return for exactly what we did last time around with Peter Chiarelli, because I don't think Ray Shero's going to go for that. I really don't. But that's the thing. And here's the other question is, the Oilers are realistically on the cap space. I know I always bring it down to a cap thing for the Edmonton Oilers when it comes to trading for Taylor Hall. They're a Chris Russell or Adam Larson and a Brandon Manning trade away from being able to afford Taylor Hall. And here's to the other side is, I always say, why trade away future stuff for a 1-year rental, right? Is because, you know what, I have a strong feeling Taylor Hall's here only to win a cup. And if you want to re-sign Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Darnell Nurse, that's all he's here to do if you trade for Taylor Hall. So you look at it that way, right? Like, all of a sudden, what the heck? Like, how can you justify giving away the future? Well, okay, I'll play devil's advocate with myself because I know there's plenty of you asking for it. It's the simple fact that from the outsider perspective, is this Oilers farm system is stacked. Guys, Tyler Benson, Kyler Yamamoto, you name it, right? Raphael Lavoie. You've got countless other guys. Ostaf Safin, Kirill Maxwell. There's guys upon guys in the minors that are going to be capable of being big-time top 6 players considering what they're doing in the minors right now. So are we really giving away much if we give away a first-round pick? Are we really giving much if we give away a second-round pick? Like, at what point does it become too much to give away is the question I ask myself. But at what point is it too little to give away? Honestly, right? I guess asking from the other perspective is, it's a little bit to get a lot. And that's the thing, right? What could have been and what could be. Because you're getting an MVP. You're getting a guy who's been the best player in the NHL as voted by the NHL in general. I'm not about to sit here and debate the politics of how voting works in the awards, but you get what I'm getting, right? Is there's a little bit of chatter there that you're getting one of the league's best players, quote unquote, of the past few years in Taylor Hall. Now, of course, there's the damaged goods, and that's where maybe it's a Taylor Hall for Adam Larson and 2 seconds. Maybe it's Taylor Hall and Adam Larson for a first-round pick. Well, you know what? If we can find something to do with Brandon Manning or Sam Gagner, suddenly the math works. Ladies and gentlemen, suddenly you've got Taylor Hall, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, James Neal. And I get it. That's to my final point, is I get where Taylor Hall fits on this team. I get what Taylor Hall adds to the team. I just have my opinion, and it's fair to have an opinion, and I'm going to dig my boots in and say it's fair. But the reason I'm doing this video is as simple. I do get the other point of view. Taylor Hall would, technically speaking, based on what he's done over his career, be the most bona fide second-line player we could get to complement Nuge and Neal. And you get what we're getting out of the bottom 6 the past few games. Suddenly, ladies and gentlemen, technically speaking, we're good. I'm fine. I'm dandy. I'm happy. However, like I said, my opinion remains the same. No Taylor Hall makes the most sense. The cap space considerations are tough. Trading away the futures, I don't like. But realistically, to win a cup, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. And that may indeed be what happens here with Taylor Hall and the Edmonton Oilers. If a trade does work, well, who am I to write it off, right? I always ask you guys, when I say something, when the Oilers try something, I say don't write it off right away. Give them a shot, right? Give it a shot. The worst that can happen is what's already happened. Guys, we can't have much worse happen with this team. You really can't. So, I guess don't write it off. So that's my lesson in this one to me, is if this does happen and you guys get your wish, A, don't go over the moon excited about it, but B, I can't write it off for you. And that's where I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to meet you in the middle on this one. And that's where I'm going with this, is I've taken it from your point of view. I've taken it from my point of view. Now let's meet in the middle and just watch as this happens. Because guys, let me tell you, if Taylor Hall gets traded to the Edmonton Oilers while I'm sitting here combing for Oilers news on Twitter or out in the living room watching Homeland or The End of the World, there's an expletive in there that I can't watch. That's the new series that I'm just trying to catch up on. There's a lot of potential to garner a lot of eyeballs on there, and I want to be able to get in there and have as well-rounded and educated of an opinion as I can to make sure we get as many different voices in here as possible. So guys, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. As I don't even know if this video made sense, but I think from my point of view, it was important to sit here tonight and just kind of, on a night where there's other news happening in the NHL, take it from my point of view, take some big news, and try to grab a slice of the pie. Guys, I'll catch you in the next one.